So you might be able to tell this to look at me, by the way, but you are looking at a recent EuroMillions winner. £2.80. It's a cheek, innit? It's a cheek, it's a disgrace, it's a scandal. £2.80 on the EuroMillions. 30p. More than what it cost me to play the game in the first place. I play the EuroMillions online because I'm rubbish with bits of paper, right? But basically, it's me plan on one day, this is how I'm going to buy a house, right? I'll wake up, I'll have that magical little email, I'll be able to buy a house, because we still live in a rented flat, me and my wife, my daughter. I can't get a mortgage, I am so self-employed. Every year I make the same mistakes. I submit as many expenses as I can for the year, reduce my taxable income down as low as possible. Every year I pay as little tax as I can legally get away with paying legally. And then it gets to the point where I try and apply for a mortgage and they're just like, but how do you even eat? And we've ran your figures through the computer, sir, and you're not even coming back as a real person. It's saying you've got the economy of a small African village with no water supply in the early 80s. It's suggesting we put a concert on for you. That's what it's saying. According to HM Revenue and Customs, I am keeping a family of 3 alive on £8.50 a year. So I play the EuroMillions online. Does anyone else play the EuroMillions online? Yeah, you'll know. You will know. Doesn't matter how little you win. They've only got one email. They send the same email to everyone regardless. They haven't got the decency. They haven't got the good grace to just tell you in the email, just to let you know you've won £2.80, you loser. No, they like to build up the hope. You're a winner! Log in now, they tell you. Log in, we can't possibly tell you what the news is in the email. If this information should fall into the wrong hands, your life might very well be in danger. Log in now, we've got investment experts standing by who can advise you on what to do with your £2.80. You can have it in one lump sum payment, or you could choose to have it in instalments of 14 pence a year over 20 years. And I get it, but it's data protection. I get they can't put the thing in the email. Just have 2 emails, that's all I'm saying. Have a second email for people like me. You're a winner, but don't build your hopes up. Don't be picking any houses, but do decide what your favourite flavour of crisps is. Because somebody's getting a multi-pack. This is why I hate it. Because every time I have to log in to find out the pittance that I've won. I think added security on the National Lottery website. Username, password, Mac keychain, Bing, that goes in, not a problem. But then every time it's like I've never visited it before. Every time I have to do the robot thing with the road signs, it's often on the... I can't do the thing, can I? I have to click the button underneath. Give me an audio challenge. Type the words into the box that you hear in the following sentence. Our computer says, sorry, go. Let's give them road signs a go. I'll take me chances. Our computer says, sorry, go. It's like they've hired stroke victims to read foreign words.
But here's the thing about being married a very long time. You get to know each other so well, right? I mean, my husband knows me well. I know my husband so well at this point that we can have a full-blown argument from start to finish, and he's not even home. You know? So, this year, I have been married 21 years. Thank you. Thank you. I know it looks like I could have been a child bride, which, where I'm from, totally possible. Anyway, I wasn't a child bride. Anyway, so 21 years. And here's what I've learned in 21 years. That to stay married and stay happy, because it's not naturally the same thing, to stay married and stay happy, what you must do is keep your focus on what is important. Keep your focus on what is important. Let everything else fall away. See, I'll explain. The other day, my husband and I were having an argument, a face-to-face one, the one where he's actually at home. So we're having an argument, and, I say argument. The fact is, after 21 years, my husband and I don't really have arguments. We have throwdowns. You know, throwdown, like MMA level. Do you know what MMA is, sir? Yeah, marriage martial arts. Proper MMA. No matter what the topic, my husband and I both always bring it for everything. Because we know that after 21 years and 3 kids, nobody's fucking going anywhere. Right? We are just trying to get to the end of this somehow. And also, you should know, like I told you, when I arrived here, I got a UK passport. My husband is Scandinavian. He didn't bother. And then we were having this argument, and he was like, I don't understand why you didn't do it this way. And I said, really, what I don't understand is why you don't fuck off back where you came from. Apollo, I cannot lie to you, it felt pretty good. Oh my God, what a great phrase. I am totally on board with it now. Knock yourselves out. Such a good feeling it gives you afterwards, you know? The problem was it bothered our children a little bit because we were having lunch. It was Sunday. Our youngest child, she said, oh no, Mama said the F word. And I said, oh darling, you're right, I did. But you know what? When you grow up and meet the man of your dreams, so will you. And then my teenage son said something, but let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. Between 45 to 85% of what this child says, I don't understand. Because he's a teenager. He just looked at me and said, why so salty, bro? And then our middle child, apart from being somewhat fractured, she's also very woke. By which I mean she doesn't understand the difference between racism and a joke about racism. So she got very upset and she said, you can't say that to Dad, that's racist. And I said, racist? Look at my face. I can't be racist. Everybody knows only white people are racist. Oh, she got angry. She stomped out of the room. And I was like, oh, come on, darling. Sorry, it was a joke. I know, you're half white. Oops.
My wife and I have decided we don't want children. If anybody does, we can drop them off tomorrow. The fat one has asthma. Is that even good? No, we have a beautiful old girl who we named after my mom. In fact, passive-aggressive psycho turns 5 tomorrow. Hey, should lesbians be allowed to use dildos? They made their choice. I am happily married, that's why I'm wearing the ring. Ooh. Oh, it must have fallen off in that hooker's ass. What am I like? Anybody that's married knows what I'm talking about when I say this, that you really find out about someone after you marry them. Like, for example, my wife doesn't have a peanut allergy. No, it turns out she has a penis. That's it, she has a penis. My father was a man of few words. I remember he used to say to me, son, get your trunks, we're going to the library. I was addicted to rolling around in pig shit. I've been clean for 2 years now. No, I seldom do drugs. I've only done ketamine. My doctor thinks I'm taking hallucinogenic drugs. How do I know? Let's just say Little Bird told me. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that. Another therapist says that I have an overactive imagination or something to that effect. I was distracted by the tap dancing chipmunks on his water cooler. Yes, doctor. I understand, doctor.
T for two, a T for tea, me for you, and you for me.
OMG, that is so cute. Do another song, would you?
Okay. Me and my shadow strolling down the Scoop, scoop, scoopy dee 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 dee.
I was called immature today by my smelly wife. So I spit on her. And now I'm
Lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own.
Three of you recognized it. That was a tough note. Some of you are looking at me thinking, is this shit funny in Canada? No, it's not. That's why I'm here. Receiving oral sex from an ugly person is like rock climbing. You should never look down. Sir? You guys have been amazing. Thank you very much, everyone.
I've got a good relationship with me mum. Sometimes in comedy you laugh at things because it's familiar, because it's a shared experience. Sometimes you laugh because you're just glad you're not me. See if this has happened to anybody else. Whenever I'm on the phone to me mum, it always makes me need a poo. Give us a woo if that's happened to you. See, I've looked into it. It's a closeness issue. It means that me and those people who wooed, we love our mums more than the rest of you lot love yours. I love my mum so much it makes me shit. Try getting that on a balloon for Mother's Day. Thank God for Moonpig. But I bought a house quite recently. I wanted to buy a house because I'd lived in flats for 16 years and I really missed going upstairs to bed. Not through the kitchen, upstairs to bed. But I was sitting only a few months later upstairs in bed, quite smugly, just thinking, this is the life. I've arrived. I'm upstairs in bed. And then I thought, oh, no, now I've got to go downstairs for food. What I really wanted, like my parents have both always lived near a park and I'd always been able to see a tree out of my bedroom window, so that became a priority. When I was house hunting, I wanted to be able to see a tree out of my bedroom window. But it became very clear that I'm not massively suited to country living, having lived in the city centre for so long. I drove along a lovely country lane, and I saw a white marquee tent. And instead of thinking, oh, somebody's having a lovely summer party, I just thought, oh, someone's been murdered. But I found a house that I liked and I got a survey done. The survey came back and it meant nothing to me at all. But luckily I've got a friend who's a builder and he said, let me have a look at it, and I put it into layman's terms. I said, smashing. And it gives a cheer if you own your own home. Yes. Gives a cheer if you rent. Yes. See, up to this point I'd only ever rented, and I think there are phrases that mean nothing to those of us who rent that the rest of you understand, because my friend the builder said, there is one thing you will need. I said, oh yeah, what's that? He said, you'll need a damp-proof course. And I genuinely said, I haven't got time to go to college. But one of the things the house that I bought did have is a log burner. I've never had a log burner before. I got quite excited by the log burner. Not as excited as my fella did. He went, oh my God, we'll be able to get a toasting fork. We'll be able to toast things. And I thought, he does know I've got a toaster, doesn't he? When he went off to work, I went straight out and bought a toasting fork. I was too excited. I came back in with it. I grabbed a loaf of bread and I thought, I'm just going to sit in front and work my way through. Bloody love toast. Couldn't get it to work. I rang him and I said, I can't get it to work. He said, how can it not work? It's fire and bread. How can it not work? So I told him what I'd been doing. Turns out I should have had the little door open. I might as well have been lying slices of bread on top of my radiator. But when I moved, I had bits and bobs of furniture. Not much, but I had some stuff, and I was trying to work out what would best go where. And I said to me fella, God, I wish I had a tape measure. He said, what do you need a tape measure for? I said, I just want to know if that unit will fit in that alcove. He said, well, I'll sort that out for you. I said, have you got a tape measure? He said, no, it's just, I'm good at that sort of thing. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's just an instinct I've got. And first of all, I thought, rubbish. And then I thought, let's have a look. And I thought, this is quite a manly thing to be able to do. If you can do this, maybe we'll see what else slots where. So I said, go on, then do it. And this is what he did. It went exactly like this. I said, is that it? You could at least got your cock out and done 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches.
My name is Ardle. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things, Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal. That was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could Anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, Anal. What do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. And just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I am actually stupid. They think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, is he as stupid in real life? And I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted. And he was looking at me with pity. And he actually asked me at one point, he said, do you remember being in it? This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi. And I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone. And we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool. No. I know he'd be telling everyone, oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted. So I let the driver take me all the way home. And as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
Such an honour to be hosting the Christmas Live at the Apollo, and you sort of think, well, how have I got to this point? I just want to give thanks to diversity quotas. You know, it's really helped me out. You're getting 2 for 1 with me because I'm Asian and I've got a lazy eye. So what you get ethnicity and you get disability. I do like Christmas. I like to play the race card at Christmas. What's good about it is that you can make anyone feel racist at Christmas. It's a really nice little tradition I like to do. If somebody comes up to you and says, Merry Christmas, you go, why would you assume that I celebrate Christmas, right? And if they come up to you and go, Merry Christmas, oh no, do you celebrate? You go, why would you assume that I don't celebrate Christmas? It's wicked, man. I love it. Or sometimes I like to knock on a neighbour's door and go, here's your Christmas card. Notice you didn't get me one for Diwali. See you later. Nice. Obviously, it's difficult for us at our house with Christmas and that because, well, I can't pretend to be Santa. It's because of the lazy eye. It just makes it such a nightmare. The kids don't know which one I'm giving the present to. It's just... it's absolutely horrendous. My wife always wants to go away for Christmas, right? Last Christmas, she wanted to do Disneyland Paris. Has anyone been there? Yeah. I liked it. I found it difficult to engage with it fully because it was so expensive. It's very difficult to fully enjoy it when you know how much you've paid to get your family in there. Like, my kids were walking around just like all the visions of Christmassy Disney, and I just had, in my eyes, the invoice. Do you know what I mean? I was just... For me, Disneyland Paris is basically like a 3-day angry walk. Do you know what I mean? Just wandering around, going, fuck off, Donald. Do you know what I mean? Just furious, so angry. It's the first time I really thought about learning another language, right? Because they all speak French, obviously. We're in France. I'm not so post-Brexit that they can't speak their own language in their own country. But I'm a very paranoid dude. We're queuing up for the Tower of Terror with my eldest son. Just about to get on the ride, the guy behind the counter turns to his mate and goes, I was thinking, what the shit did that dude just say, man? And in my head, I'm thinking he must have gone, I think the roller coaster is broken. Let's just try that one more time on this prick and his son. He probably just said, I fancy a sandwich. I don't know, but I'm very paranoid. The kids were very excited, right? They're excited because how it works is you pay a lot of money to get in so that you can access some shops where you spend some more money, right? That's how it works. The kids are like, we're going to buy loads of stuff. I said, no, you're not, mate. You're allowed one present each, yeah? Because Daddy has been fisted by Mickey here, right? So you get one present each, all right? No messing about. The little one... But the thing is, I actually made an extra saving because I've got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. The 2-year-old doesn't know what's going on, so sack him off. Do you know what I mean? I just gave him a croissant we got free at the hotel. There you go, man. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you so much. Yeah, enjoy, dickhead.
London, just a city dragging itself up by its cranes to ever new heights of unaffordability. It's been that way for years now, right? It's just a playground for the super wealthy and their offspring. And I'm not from that sort of background myself, regardless of what you may think from the way that I just pronounced the word years. I'm not, it's just a voice. This is genuinely true. During the last year for which I have available data, the high school I went to sent more people to ISIS than Oxbridge. Let you guess which way I went? Pleasure to be here. Allahu Akbar. Lock the doors. You might think the last line's obviously a joke. I'll get letters. Genuinely, I get strangers anonymously contacting me online insisting that I want to impose Sharia law on the West, which, as the atheist son of Hindu parents, makes me feel ever so naughty. Sharia, moi. And now, look at me. Regular guy on the BBC at Christmas time. Yeah. Although, admittedly, owing to the BBC's diversity regulations, because I'm on the bill, you now have to refer to it as Krishna time. I know, right? O.M. Ganesh. Lots of differences between the generations. My favourite Christmas film is Die Hard. My dad's still waiting for the Hindu remake. Die Hard, get reincarnated, die even harder. It's been an interesting time this year. Lots of changes in my area at the moment, right? My part of London is undergoing a lot of rapid gentrification, they call it, right? I don't know if I can be a gentrifier because... I've gentrified places in the past. I work in the arts, don't get me wrong, right? I remember a while ago I lived in a place called Streatham in South London, and when I came towards the end of my tenancy, I remember walking to the station and realizing that overnight a minicab office had been replaced by a vegan bakery, and I was like, my work here is done. It's different from the way that it used to be, you know? When my grandparents came to this country, my grandparents came to this country with nothing, and yet they were able to start a family here, they were able to build a life for them, they were able to own property, largely because they drove down house prices in every neighborhood they went to, but they were able... Property. It's not like that anymore for the different generations, right? So what do the young people do? You wait, you're probably watching this at home, all the generations together at last at Krishna time. Huh? All of the young people waiting for a grandparent to cough and hoping that that's what's finally going to get them on the property ladder. The problem is, as with any kind of inequality, with intergenerational inequality, the deck is stacked and we pretend it's a question of priorities that's made outcomes not identical, right? The number of times that I've heard, oh, you're worried you'll never get on the housing ladder, but you'll spend £3 on one of your fancy coffees, yeah? Yeah, oh, yeah, you'll never get a little flat, but you'll spend £3 on one of your fancy coffees. Bruv, that's because you bought all the £3 houses. Few of those left, I'd prioritise that over a gingerbread latte. That is not the world that we currently live in, right? Guys, I currently, as an individual, earn more than both of my parents did, put together, adjusted in real terms, when 23 years ago they bought a 4-bedroom detached house in North London. The problem is my fondness for brunch. Sure.
My daughter and I were really close. I took her out for some festive cocktails last week, and we went to one of those lovely fancy sky bars down on the south bank of the Thames. And as we were queuing to get in, they were doing very, very thorough bag checks on the door. My daughter's face just fell, and she said, Mum, they won't suspect you. Can you put my weed in your pocket? Oh, something's gone wrong here, hasn't it? Can you put my weed in your pocket, please? And where was I going to put my cocaine? But we got in, we had the most wonderful night, and we kept getting free cocktails. There was a very, very good-looking young waiter, wouldn't let us pay for a single thing. At the end of the night, that waiter came over, he bent down, he said to my daughter, he said, if you weren't here, I'd take your mum home with me. I couldn't believe how long it took to get an Uber for my daughter. It was... So I found this thing online that can best be described as a menopause magnet, right? I don't mean George Clooney. This is literally a magnetic device to help a woman through the menopause. This thing arrived in the post. It said it would help me with my mood swings and my hot flushes. And what you do is, I know this sounds weird, sir, right? But what you do is, you put a magnet on the front of your knickers, you put a metal disc on the inside of your knickers. It keeps the magnet securely and discreetly in place. And that bit works so beautifully. But what they don't tell you on the menopause magnet packaging is when it is tucked neatly and very discreetly in your pants, distinct possibility you will find yourself metallically attached to the self-checkout in Waitrose. The unexpected item in the bagging area. I just rang it through as a butternut squash and I pissed off. I felt so stupid. The week before, I'd spent a whole 10 minutes attached to my tumble dryer. I mean, it was a very nice 10 minutes if I'm... It took me so long to decorate the tree this year. All the baubles kept getting stuck in my pubic triangle. I've still got at least one novelty Santa down there. But no, they're really powerful magnets. Honestly, so if you've got any metal fillings, I'd shimmy back a bit and shut your mouth. A pandemic was no place for a menopausal woman, right? Do you remember when they were taking your temperatures everywhere before you could get in? We were only ever one hot flush away from getting fully cancelled. It was... I remember the last time it happened so clearly. I was out with a friend, we were trying to just get a pizza, and they were taking temperatures on the door, and the guy took mine, and he looked at me, he said, "There's a problem." And I said, "What do you mean there's a problem?" He said, "I'm really sorry, there is a problem." And I said, "Am I a little bit overheated?" That's funny, because I'm a 50-year-old woman. I've just spent an hour and a quarter on the Northern Line wearing a mask, and I raised 2 children single-handedly. I gave birth to them with no pain relief while their dad complained his back was hurting, and I hadn't had a good night's sleep in about 2 years because of my anxiety, my irrational crying, and my vaginal dryness. I don't know what my body's doing. It should send the tears down there. That's where I really need them. And I am attached to your fire extinguisher by my pants. Turned out the problem was with the card machine. You had to pay on the app, so...
I've made a list of pros and cons, because I've been spending a lot of time in brothels and prisons. Made a list of pros and cons, always good, give you a bit of balance, Con, complete loss of all feelings of hope and possibility. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It doesn't sound much fun, does it? Pro, increased plug socket access. Bang, 1-1. I say increased, it's actually total plug socket access. I've got 32 plug sockets in my house. Each and every one of them is now under my sole domain. Con, all experiences that formed the basis of my happiness and sense of self-worth are now destroyed by grief. Downer. A bit of a downer. Pro, less recycling. I can fit it all in the green box now. It's remarkable when you take into account just how much I'm drinking. Oh, John, you're meant to heat mulled wine. All right, Your Highness, hand me the bottle and leave. Con, I'm gonna lose me house. Bit of fun. Pro, 25% off council tax. I was on that like a ferret. Dialing as the door slammed. And that's us fresh out of cons. The rest are just pros, guys. Yeah. Increased freezer space, all 4 drawers. Cheaper gas and electric. Reduced wear and tear on fixtures and fittings. And when I say reduced, I don't mean by half, because I was only ever responsible for about 10% of scuffs and spills. So we're looking at a net reduction of 90% in real terms. This is my favourite one. Ultimate control over where the iPhone charger cable is and why it is there. There was a time it would take hours to answer the questions, where is the iPhone charger cable and why is it there? Not anymore. Plugged in next to the bed, most convenient place to have it. Simple. Is it unplugged in the bathroom? No, it's not. It'd be a ludicrous place to keep it. There's no plug socket in the bathroom. Is it in the front pocket of a rucksack you no longer use? That'll be the last place you look. That'll be very frustrating. Is it plugged in on a train we have alighted from? No. It's plugged in next to the bed because that's the most convenient place to have it.
When we first moved to our area, it was a bit shit, right? But it's got nice. It's got a little bit nicer. It's very slightly gentrified. So now everyone that owns their property, they go on Rightmove every day for a little wank. Ooh, let's have a little look at what our house is worth. Let's think of somewhere cheaper and put it in and see what we can get for it. Put it in somewhere shit, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere up north. Put that in. And then you're like, fucking hell, we could own Hull. Disgusting. It's very vulgar. So, I've never lived anywhere nice before. It's been quite interesting watching it sort of change a little bit. Like, first off, there's little signs that you notice when a change is on the horizon. Like, first off, it's the availability of sourdough. change a-coming. And then it's the pub. It's always the pub. You've got to keep an eye on the pub. The pub changes. Like our old pub, it was a sort of working class pub. Old blokes in there, smoking roll-ups, buying and selling the odd gun, watching Sky Sports, right? But they've all had to go now. They've all been kicked out and the pub's been done up. It's all shabby chic. It's all been done a bit retro. And now, you know, there's like pictures on the wall, old Polaroid photographs of working class blokes smoking roll-ups, buying and selling guns, watching Sky Sports. And you can eat there. You can get food in the pub now. You can get a rustic frittata on a distressed camping plate. Or like pizza off a bin lid. It's great. Tapas off a plank. Because gentrified people like to eat food from bits of shit in a shed, bits of crap, bits kicking around in a garage. I've had soup out of a bedpan. Nice. I like it. You have to get a tetanus after you've had a meal, but it's nice. And parenting at Christmas time, I worry about my parenting. I don't know if I'm that good at it. I get into rows. I row with my kids. You shouldn't row with kids, should you? It's really frowned at. I said to my friend, I row with my kids. And she said, what do you mean you row with them? You mean you, like, tell them off? I said, no, because that would suggest status, wouldn't it? That would imply I've got some power in our relationship. But I don't seem to have any power. We're in the supermarket recently, getting not all the shopping in. I'm quite harassed. I've got other things I need to be doing. One of them's like, no, we don't like pasta shells. We only like pasta bows. I'm like, it's the same. It's the same thing. All of the pastas are the same. The pipes and the bows and the shells and the twists. What are you looking at? I said, you don't give a toss about shape when it's chocolate, do you? It's not good. No, because there's no glory in winning a row with a child. Like, if you win a row with your mate, you then tell your other mate, don't you? And then you're like, and then I said, right? And then I said, you don't give a shit about shape when it's chocolate, do ya? And I said it to her face. It's like, oh, well done with your 6-year-old kid. Well done, Kel. And my son loves to play Snap. He loves to play Dinosaur Snap. And he hates to lose, because kids do, don't they? Kids hate losing games. You won't meet a kid that loses a game that's like, no, it's fine, best of 5, let's just go again. So I have to let him win, because I'm his mum and I love him in a sort of oppressive, cloying way. So I have to let him win. He'll lose at things later in life when I can't control that for him. But for this game of Snap, I can let him win, can't I? But it turns out that my reflexes aren't as sentimental as me. So a diplodocus goes down, and then another diplodocus, and before I quite know what's happening, I'm like, snap! Snap! Ha!
One of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology. Isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do. Because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go and buy more batteries, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut, even the petrol stations are shut, and then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone, we're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Young people don't believe this when you tell them, we never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? I'm right, aren't I? The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. Going to what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. Poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Different. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. By FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin. Some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day, every day, every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that. Because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted. I'm going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously, it does happen, though. Women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with, actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé. We're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed... Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I'll put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully and gently and quickly from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So, fella, how'd you end up in a skip? The most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you, fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sitting in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, bricks, but... Oh, I'm sorry, what? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy, no heavy lifting. Yeah? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple hundred years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What the hell was that? What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London. Next day, people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps, and it looks like this. I'm going to write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.
I used to be not exactly ashamed of my blackness, but I never wanted to do anything that could be seen as stereotypically black, and it followed me all my life. So when I was younger, when I was at school, if I was ever in PE and a basketball would come flying at top speed towards my face, instead of catching that basketball in the air, dribbling it towards the nearest net and slam dunking the thing as I naturally would, I just let it hit me in the face and roll away. When I got older, I made a lot of friends, mainly white friends, and we started going to the club. Are you familiar with the club? Not the club, the club. At the end of the street. Whenever I went to the club and I was dancing with a group of friends, I would deliberately dance less well on purpose. So that the white people wouldn't be intimidated. There'd always be one other black person in the corner of the room, arms folded, looking at me like, you're disrespecting yourself. When meanwhile, I'll be in the middle of the dance floor just moving like Miley Cyrus. I tried so hard. I tried so hard to pass as white. I did all the white things. I bought pesto. I said tissue. And I got really dangerously into Jamie T. I am talking about the era of Jamie T, Pete Doherty, Jack Pignati, Jedward. I spent my late teens, arguably the sexiest part of one's teens, just sort of lusting over these gurning predators. Like, imagine more me, you'll be at a house party with an edgy white boy and he'd have the whole edgy boy starter kit. He'd have the skinny jeans, roly fag, unacceptable BO. He'd be talking always about one of his two favourite subjects, which is always either dubstep or himself. And you'd be sitting on the windowsill and finally you'd pluck up the courage to just cut him off mid-anecdote, put your hand on his shoulder, look him in the eye and be like, mate, I love you. And then he'd look at you, and you'd look at him, and you'd lean in for a kiss, and then he'd just sort of thumb MDMA into your mouth. And after that was it, you were like, wow! I think he really likes me. Oh my God, white guys. I spent half my life lusting after unsuitable white guys. Have we got any white guys in? Come on, guys, cheer louder. We know how much you get paid. Because you are everywhere. You're in the White House, you're in the big banks, you're in all the fancy court cases, you're killing it. Sometimes literally. But I don't want anyone to think I'm having a go because I genuinely adore white guys. Love your work. Ed Sheeran, amazing. I haven't got anything against white men apart from, obviously, everything it is that they've done. Some of my best friends. Some of my best friends are white men. My mother is a white man.
This is true, this. Does anyone know? I fail my test. Can anyone tell me what happens, right? If you're on your driving test and an animal ran out in front of the car, what are you supposed to do? Supposed to run it over. That's the right answer. They say anything else is a danger to other road users. I'm on my test. Everything's going great. Suddenly, this goat ran out in front of the car. So I remembered what he said, and I kept driving. A few seconds later, I look in my rearview mirror. The goat is fine. I've missed him by millimetres. Now, obviously, I didn't want to fail my test. So I slapped it in reverse like that. But I must have been chasing that little fucker through that field for 45 minutes before I ran over his head, and he still failed me. Where's the justice in that? You actually look a bit like my driving instructor, madam. with those fantastic specs and that hair. You've gone for the old Eric Morecambe meets Demi Moore look, haven't you? That's fantastic. Actually, lend me those glasses for a second. Just, you do. What's your name, madam? Lyndall. Where are you from? Mordor? Lyndall. My name's Lyndall. Are you searching for a ring? That's Australian. Oh, fantastic. I'm not going to take the mickey out of the Australians. You're the same as us, aren't you? Different pronunciations, you know. You say yogurt, we say yoghurt. You have prawns on the barbie, we have yoghurt. You use KY jelly. It's yoghurt, I'm not explaining them all. You say BYO, we say good guess. The question was, how do you spell boy? Arsenal. What do you do for a living? Are you a welder? It's true, actually. My driving instructor wore glasses. This is the other issue for me as well. We're driving down the road. She said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap my hand on the dashboard. I want you to make an emergency stop as though a small child has stepped out in front of the car. Before he could put his belt on, or she, doesn't matter because I'm making it up, right? Before the person could put their belt on, right, I hit my brakes like that, and he hit his head full on the window like... I'll just show it off now. Oh, bad job! Hey! Hey! And he turned around to me and said, why don't you wait till I slap my hand on the dashboard? I said, there's a child's life at stake here. I haven't got time to mess about with games, mate. Oh, sorry, you didn't see any of that, did you? No, sorry. You were just sat there, weren't you, going, what's he doing? What's that noise? Has he got a kind face?
I was going to be a doctor, got as far as A-level biology, and we had to cut open a rat. Remember that? You had to cut open a rat, and I discovered I couldn't stand the sight of blood or anything vaguely biological. Just had to switch it up. I was like, Mum, I had to tell my mum the doctor thing wasn't going to work out, but it was all right. I said, I'm going to be an engineer. And my mum was like, engineer? It is on the list? Okay. And then she turns to my younger brother, you will be the doctor. And that's how it ran in my family. She wasn't impressed when I decided to become a comedian. That conversation didn't go very well because I was an engineer. I worked as an engineer for years. I used to work for Otis, repairing lifts. That's what I did. And my mum was proud. Yes, my daughter, she's an engineer. And then I left that and decided to become a comedian. My mum was not impressed. She's like, comedy. Comedy? What the hell is comedy? I'm going to tell my friends in Nigeria, My daughter is a clown. But luckily for me, within 6 months of starting comedy, I got on this talent show called The Big, Big Talent Show, hosted by Jonathan Ross. Got on this show. So I called my mum. I was like, Mama, I got through to this big talent show. It's going to be on TV. I'm through the quarterfinals. And my mum was like, oh, yeah, that's good. Very good. Interesting. Very good. Call me when you get to the final. I'm not interested in this quarterfinal, semi-final rubbish. Call me for the final. So sure enough, I got through to the final, filmed live on television, live. Jonathan Ross is hosting, and my mum comes down with her entourage, because my mum does not travel without a Nigerian entourage. So I do my set. Jonathan Ross is interviewing me after my set, and he sees my mum in the audience, which was not hard to spot. It was literally white people, white people, white people, and then a bank of African royalty just... So Jonathan points to my mum and he goes, is that your mum? That Gina's mum is in the audience. And I swear to God, my mum stood up like this. Yes, that is right. I am the reason the clown is here. I am the reason. I always knew she was going to be a clown. When she was 3, I bought her the big shoes. So my mum only comes out for the big shows. She only comes out for the big shows. And in fact, my mum is here tonight. Where's my mum? Where's my mum? Where's my mum over there? She's here. Where's your mum? Oh, look at her, standing up. Look at her, there she is. All right, you can sit down now, mum. You can sit down now, mum. This is my show, mum. It's my show. It's my show.
I have this voice all of the time. You may be thinking, oh, she's hard of hearing. That's why she has that voice. No. I want you to know, no, I don't. It has nothing to do with the hard of hearingness. It's just an extra. Just a kiss on my forehead from God himself. Just an extra. I live with, this is my all the time voice. This is my sex voice. This is my sex voice. It is, I have sex, I go, oh, I love that. I do. I go, oh, can you do that but slower? That's what I say. That's what I say. I say that during sex. I want you to know I do have sex. I want you to know that. I know if I say it, it makes it sound like I don't have sex, but I have sex. Okay, I have sex with people, and people have sex with me. And it's the truth. It's just what happened. I have sex. I just do. It took me a long time to get started having sex because I come from a Latin American mom. And my mom used to talk about my vagina every day, but only in metaphor. My mom, she'd say stuff like, she'd be like, Lara, nobody wants to buy a lock that can be opened by every key. Lara. She'd be like, Lara, nobody wants to buy an apple that's been bitten by someone else. Lara. Lara, if you give them sex too soon, they won't stay with you forever. Lara. That one's pretty straightforward, not really a metaphor, that last one. Pretty straight to the point, that's kind of what she meant with the whole thing. It took me a long time to get started because of that. And I live in the Netherlands, 6 years now I live there. It's great, it's good. I live now with my partner, an Argentinian guy, Fernando, okay. We live together, I love him. I brought him over, actually, from Argentina. We met in Argentina, and then I brought him over to live in the Netherlands on my back, me, him, and a donkey. It took 3 days and 3 nights, long and arduous, but we made it. We made it, now we live together there. It's good. I love him. He has no sense of smell. What a good disability to have in a partner, if I may. The best disability to have in a partner. Because as a partner, you can be nasty. You can be as nasty as you want all of the time. Of course, not good to be nasty because then you have to live in the nasty as well. And that part you forget about. You forget. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I can fart while I eat. But then you have to eat in a fart, and no one wants, like, if you can choose to not eat in a fart, maybe better to just eat in clean air. You might be thinking, oh, but Lara, what about the sound, you deaf-ass bitch? Don't call me that. It offends my family. I actually will have you know, if you must, that my farts do not have sound. They don't. It's not a tree fell in the forest situation. I can't hear them. Joke's on me. Haha. No. My farts actually do not have any sound. They do not have any sound because I have what's called a butt cheek gap. You know about this? A BCG for short. It means my arse cheeks don't touch. They just don't touch each other. I have a gap. A gap between my... And we all know, famously, most of the sound from farts come from the stress of the air trying to get through the cheeks. You know about this. I Googled it, it's the truth. If the air is trying to get through, this is my impression of most people's farts. And this is my impression of my farts. because I have a butt cheek gap, which means I can fart while I eat if I want to. I don't, but I want you to know that I can.
I was such a fat kid. My mother used to buy bathing suits with blowholes in them. It was just... But my parents... I don't want to go into my childhood here because it's wrong. My parents hated me, okay? We're all going to hear the story, aren't we? Well, my parents hated me too. My parents... All I ever heard growing up is, why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Sheila had died at birth. They just... Whenever we would go, like, in front of a street, each parent would take my hand, hold our hand, we're crossing the street, and then they'd swing me into the traffic. They used to say, take candy from strangers. Ask the funny man in the raincoat, does he own a van? No, I had a very bad childhood, and that's because, and I'm sure none of you give a damn, but I was the only Jewish kid, this is the absolute truth, growing up in an all-Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's? The Irish people. Only Jewish kid in a Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's like? You were all doing Hail Marys, I was doing Hail Murrays. I mean, it was just... No Christmas tree? No Christmas tree. Do you know what that's like when you're the only kid without a Christmas? Because everybody has Christmas trees. And nowadays, it's like, well, we do it for all faiths. That's such bullshit. Yeah, we walk into an office building, and there's a Christmas tree, and there's a menorah. Bullshit. The Christmas tree goes up, 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 up. There's like a little shitty menorah with 2 orange lights that some angry Puerto Ricans lit backwards. I mean, yes. Juan, you lit those lights backwards. Fuck you, you killed our Lord. I mean, it is just... So, I'm at the age where I figure, screw it, I'm gonna have a Christmas tree. I got the biggest Christmas tree I got a 2-story high Christmas tree. I put everything you could think of on that. Up, 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 gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. On the bottom, I got the manger. I got the whole goddamn thing going there, the wise men, the sheep. And the only thing is, I have the baby, but I'm Jewish. I got him a nanny. It was just, oh yes. And I redressed Mary. She didn't look good. That stupid thing over her head, come on. I put her in a Chanel suit, Manolo Blahniks, and a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. You're the mother of God. Look it. It is just... Am I wrong? If she had looked like that, she would have gotten into the inn. Yes. The point is, it's about looks. Mary, she looked good. She would have done better. Mother Teresa... Oh, don't give me... Oh, Mother Teresa, if she had looked better, she'd be a saint by now. Was she a bow wow? Yes. Did she need electrolysis? Let's talk to each other here. Even lepers were throwing their fingers at her. Here, get away. Because it is all about looks. This is my message, Great Britain. This is my message. Looks count. Education... Looks count. I have no sex appeal, and it has screwed me up for life. Peeping Toms look in my window, pull down the shade. You have no idea. My gynecologist examines me by telephone. It is just...
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic, the BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam, just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's done very, very good. She's done lost words she cannot pronounce. Lost words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. Difficult name, his name's Stephen. notice this? Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen. She calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Jennifer, I know his name is my son. It is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. Can we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Going on in my life, and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now, but you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home, you sound hungry. I made chicken curry, I made a lamb tagine, I made a casserole, Jennifer, I made some tortillas, some paellas, some curry, Jennifer, you love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian, you don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
Little request, if you know anybody who works for WhatsApp, just tell them to let us delete the message entirely, like it was never sent. Don't delete the message, but still write, Neil has deleted the message. Like a little telltale informer. So that your friend still texts you and goes, what was in that message that you deleted it? You know when it says delete for me or delete for everyone? Who picks? Just for me, and just go and delete it for me, yeah? Yeah, still want them to see the awful stuff I've written, but I don't want to be reminded of how much of a dick I can actually be, yeah. It's like getting a tattoo removed and walking into the laser place going, what are my options for tattoo removal? You got two options. First option, we shine a laser on your leg, remove the tattoo so no one will see the tattoo. What is my second option? We shine a laser in your eyes so you won't see the tattoo. I'll go for option number 2, please. Thank you very much. I bought a new phone, I fell for the ad. You can put the phone on somebody else's phone and you can wirelessly transfer the charge. And the company thinks people are going to use that. No one's going to use that. Your charge is the single most important thing in your life. Look at your friends. They would prefer to donate a kidney to a stranger than to give you 5% of their mobile phone charge. Have you ever been abroad? Yeah? You ever been abroad? You bring one adapter, one charge between you and your spouse. The UN level of negotiation involving getting the charger back from the person you love. Can I have the adapter, love? Can I have the charger? Can I have the adapter? Can I have the adapter? And they hit you with it. Absolutely, Neil. But what battery percentage do you have? And you look at the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with and you lie like a mofo, don't you? 3%, 2%, 0.5%. I've never even seen 0.5% in the mobile phone before, to be honest with you. Show me your phone, I'll plug it in for you. I can't show you my phone. Why can't you? I'm having an affair. How the hell having an affair? Show me your phone! We'll be in Spain. My wife will go and have a shower before we go out. She'll leave the bathroom door open and the shower door open. That is not an invitation to join her. You'll make that mistake once in your life. Let me tell you that. It's because she doesn't trust you to not unplug her phone and plug your phone in. And she's right, because that's exactly what you do, isn't it? You plug her back in towards the end, so you got plausible deniability. Did you plug out my phone? I did not plug out your phone. It went up by 2% after a half an hour shower. That is because Spanish electricity is different. You plugged it in during the siesta, and the wires were asleep. That's how it works here. If I talk to you in the front row, hope you know I'm just messing. You get great answers. I had a farmer at a gig once. I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a sheep farmer. I said, I read recently sheep can recognise individual human faces. He went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be okay. I had a South African man at a gig in Dublin once. I said, where are you from? Big blonde guy. He goes, Cape Town. I said, Cape Town is beautiful and warm and sunny. How did you end up in Dublin? He went, I got in the wrong container. The Irish guy, lovely fella, big guy, you know. Apparently we're going to be the most overweight country in Europe in a few years. And they tell us this like it's bad news. Oh, it's a catastrophe, it's a disaster. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. Only 180 years after the worst famine in Western Europe. I call that a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. No one else has bounced back like we have. Those people in Pompeii just died. If they were Irish, they'd be selling lava lamps by now.
Romantic, that's my problem. I love romance. Oh, I want to be in a relationship. I want to try edible pants. You can't edible solo, they don't let you. I'm absolutely fascinated by them. Here's why. It must be someone's job to keep edible pants from being too delicious. Because they've got to be okay in context, but there's a team of scientists that's working day in, day out to make sure that none of us start craving them. Struggle being single. I'm a pick-me girl. Do you guys know what that is? A pick-me girl is a type of woman who's like me. I'm not like the other girls. Why? Because I like live music. Shackle me. I do like live music. Like sometimes I wonder if anyone's gone to see the band Placebo thinking it was The Cure. So I do think about that stuff. Love live music. I went to see ABBA Voyage. Have you guys seen it? ABBA Voyage, if you haven't seen it, it's incredible. It's ABBA. They've got holograms now. But just before going into ABBA Voyage, I found out a little bit of industry gossip, and I'm going to share it with you because I was pissed off. ABBA, the band, they're not even dead. And they've got holograms, is it? You can't have holograms if you're alive. Hey, ABBA, go to work. ABBA Voyage, it's amazing. From start to finish, it's them at their best. They were 28 years old when they recorded it. Start to finish, them at their best. A bit like this. So, ABBA Voyage, at the end of ABBA Voyage, sometimes the real ABBA, they come out. But the problem is that at this point in your life, you've only known them as hot 28-year-olds. So when 76-year-old ABBA comes out, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like them. It looks like their parents have come to pick them up. I am a pick-me girl. I lie about my interests constantly, I do. My new thing now is I pretend to like football. Now, I want to like football. I really do. I really respect it as a sport. My problem is too much of it has happened. And no one will let me catch up. Like, everyone needs to stop playing for like 5 years, and then I'll start casual, season 1, episode 1. Now, the real reason I'm trying to get into football is because, basically, I met this guy. Thank you. And, oh my God. So he told me that he could have Do you guys know him? That's weird.
he does have a lot of friends. He said he could have gone professional. But then, and this is so sad, just before the trials, he didn't have the skills. He didn't have the skills, the work ethic, or the natural talent. So close.
Liverpool has a strange relationship with Manchester as well. Is anybody in from Liverpool? All right, thought we might have priced you out. Not to worry. I love Liverpool. It's a beautiful city. And I remember when I first went over there, I support Manchester City, right? That's my football team. And I remember going over there in my Manchester City shirt, and I stopped this bloke at the train station. I said, listen, mate, I'm a bit lost. I'm trying to find the docks. Can you help us out? And he turned around and he went... Which is a word in Liverpool, right? Honestly, right? It means you're not welcome, right? You pick it up quick enough, right? Eventually he got to some sound, he went, eh! Because they're naturally witty, they're born with that, right? He said, what are you doing over there in Liverpool? I love it. I do. Now, at that stage, you're tempted to say calm down, but that makes things worse, right? You don't like that. I was very brave, though. I looked in the eye and said, listen, I asked you for directions, officer. You are bang out of order, mate. You can deal with it. But football, you know, has that problem, doesn't it? There's a lot of cities hate each other just because of the football. You know, I support City, and obviously Manchester United is our nearest club. And we've got any United fans in? Of course we have. We're in Hammersmith. There's always a United fan. Every gig I do, there's a United fan. They're like rats. You're only ever 3 metres away from one of the bastards. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go is the red. I love football, but I'm getting to this stage where I'm starting to dislike footballers. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, right? But these like multi-millionaires running around the pitch, you know, every 5 minutes. I've hurt myself. There was a bloke a few weeks back, he missed 3 Premiership games with a dead leg, right? Now, that's not an injury, is it, a dead leg, right? When I was a kid, I had 3 dead legs in one day once, right? And that was for free. I still have to do PE and walk home. That's not an injury, mate. My granddad's favourite footballer was a German goalkeeper called Bert Trautmann, right? Now, in the 1956 FA Cup final, does anyone know what happened to old Bert? He broke his neck. Look at you, like the quiz team. Bang, straight in, no messing about. Good work. He broke his neck and carried on playing, right? That's how hard they were in the 50s. The metatarsal, not even invented in 1956. He just got up, carried on, diving about with a wobbly head, right? Not bothered. Not bothered. Not these days, it's... the fans keep shouting nasty things at us. Me up. It's right, isn't it? And I'm there in the crowd watching, thinking, do you know what? You're on 60 grand a week. If I think you're a knobhead, I'll tell you, right? And that's the way it should work, because if I was on that sort of money, I'd take it as well. Do you know what I mean? I'd stay an extra half hour at the end of the game just to take it. You're a knobhead? Yeah, I don't know. See you next week, lads. God bless. Yeah. Your mum's a knobhead. Yeah, but you should see her house. See you later.
When I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra, it had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. this idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course, you love your kids, and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I have to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
So the winter's drawing in. It's over. The summer was over. We never even had a summer. It was so depressing. Nothing happened, except there was a lot of rain, a great deal of rain. More rain ever since records began. Yes. Not that we have any idea what that means. There was this strange period in history with no records at all. People would leave their homes and go, it feels slightly different to yesterday. Is anybody writing this down? And then after a period of time, somebody said, enough's enough, I will write this down. I would like to announce that records have begun. That first day must have been quite a record-breaking day, don't you think? It's the hottest, wettest, windiest day since records began! This morning, I've only just started. They said about the wind as well on the weather. Who cares about the wind? Could it be a stiff northeasterly breeze? I'm not sailing to work. I don't give a shit. People see that and go, I'll leave slightly later with a tailwind. I'll be there in half the time. Woo-hoo! Then the clocks are going to change. Nobody knows when the clocks are going to change. They change on a Saturday night. Nobody knows it's going to happen. Everybody the same every Saturday night, every year. They don't know which way or what's going on. You only find out about it late on Saturday night. You overhear somebody, excuse me, what was that? The clocks, they changed. When? Tonight? Oh! Darling, the clocks, they... Which way? Which way? Which way? They go back. Is that the good one? Is that the good one? How many years do we need to be alive before we know when they change and which way? An extra hour! Woohoo! The only thing we can look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, in this winter is snow. It's the only thing that gets us through, because the weather's terrible, but snow is the holy grail. Nothing beats snow. And normally, we get one day of snow, and you've got to hope that it snows overnight, so you can be snowed in. Earlier this year, it snowed in the middle of the day. You don't want that. I was waiting for my bus, and where I live, there's no tube. You have to wait for the bus. The buses actually originate there. The bus is already there. So it's even more frustrating. I'm waiting for the driver. We've got everything we need. We're looking for people. Can you drive this thing? And that's when the snow came. Amazing, instantly landing snow. The best of snow. I mean, the most unbelievable snow. And then I realized, oh my God, I could get snowed out. This is not what I need. The driver shows up. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you, due to the chaos on the roads, it's been snowing 8 seconds at this point. We're cancelling the bus. There will be no running of this service. And we're like, well, hang on a minute. We bought our tickets. What are we going to do? How are we supposed to get home? There's no way to get home. What are we going to do? And he said, don't shout at me. I actually live at the other end of this bus route. I take this bus home, and then I'm relieved by another driver. And we're like, this is a very interesting development. How are you going to get home? There's only one thing to do. Walk. It's the only way we can get home. It's the only way at all. I'm like, fine, OK. So we walked the bus route, led by the driver. We came to the first stop. We had to tell the people waiting, there's no bus. And they joined our imaginary bus. It was getting bigger and bigger. I looked behind us, I could see the next imaginary bus. Not a bus, just people walking. And it was catching up fast, because no one to pick up from the stops. And the driver saw this as well, and he turned around. He said, when we get to the next stop, don't tell them anything. Keep walking, they can get on the next one. I thought this was one of the funniest things that ever happened to me. I said to the woman walking next to me, I said, this is hilarious. We're on an imaginary bus. There's a driver. There are old people walking. And this is funny, right? And I thought we were on the same wavelength. But now I remember I was doing most of the talking because she said, I'd love to chat, but this is my stop. She got down to an actual bus stop and then walked in the direction we had just come from.
This year, I did no lilt February. Thank you. I know, it sounds impossible, but you take it one day at a time. Did I have any today? No, you're a legend. It gets hard around the middle of the month, you get the cravings. It's called lilt guilt. You're like, oh, I bloody love the lilt. It's the night where you go to the shop at midnight, you kick the doors in, where's the lilt? And they're like, we don't stock it anymore. Like, ah! So you try and make your own hooch lilt, you know, you get a pineapple and a grapefruit, and you add in batteries and a horse's head, and you're like, it's good, but it's not totally tropical. Did that joke in America recently. Turns out they don't have lilt there. So, this is it. This is all I do. Imagine if this was your actual... I go like blah, 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 and you go, ah, ha, 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 money. I can't believe I get away with it. You do actual, proper London jobs. You know, like blacksmith, you know? Farrier. Brunch DJ. The big three. I tell you, I do not trust people who work in offices. I know, right? What are they doing? Nothing takes that long. They're planning something. They must be. Do you know? Do you ever call in to visit your friend in an office unexpectedly? Everyone just shits themselves. They're like, what's he doing here? Cover the screen, lie across the spreadsheet, get him out. Kind regards, warm regards, best. That's how they talk. Seen the email. Hey. I know what it's like in the real world. Look, sometimes I check in your world. Oh, gross, back to showbiz. And... No, I'm very self-aware of the level of fame that I have. I was in a supermarket recently, and an older lady came up to me, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, you are vaguely familiar. And that is it. I did a gig in Wrexham, and I was at an ATM machine, and a guy cycled by, and he shouted at me, surprised to see you at an ATM machine. And I've been obsessed with it since then. What did he mean? Like, on the one hand, is he surprised I don't have a butler to go to the ATM machine for? No, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm surprised you have any money whatsoever doing keyboard horse shit. Here's my greatest ever showbiz tale. I did a gig in your Milton Keynes recently, thank you, and I was staying in the Milton Keynes Hilton, and she is the least well-known of all the Hilton sisters. And I checked in after the gig at like 12:30. Room 303 is where this took place. Open the door, TV on in the room. Not that uncommon in the chain hotels. I guess it's to welcome you. But get this, on the TV, is me playing the shitty keyboard on some show. Immediate thought is like, is this a service they provide to all guests? If so, no, it's the realization, this is it. I've arrived. And I waltz into the room, down the little corridor with the loo away to the left. And as the room opens out, there is a fully naked man lying on the bed. So they've given me the key to someone else's room. But he is lying there, watching me on the TV. And he looks up. To think of something smart. What I say is like, oh shit, sorry about it. I could have said anything and I'd be a legend. I could have been like, oh, you enjoying this? Ah, no boner. And just walked out of it.
I used to chase women quite a lot. Things were different back then, you know. It was like you had to go out on the hunt as a man back then. Back in the 70s, you had to put a nice splash of Paco Rabanne on. You stand there with your mates. There was no Facebook, none of this nonsense back then. You went in cold. You went in cold. You're there with your mates Friday night, you've had a couple of pints of lager, got your shirt on, jeans pressed. Say to your mates, look, I'm going to go and get them birds over. When I bring them back, don't mess it up. Walk over to them. Evening, ladies. I know it must have hurt when you fell from heaven. Maybe my friends and I could ease the pain by buying you a few drinks. No, fair enough. Come and we're going. We're only coming here on lesbian night, aren't we? It's very nice that women don't have to worry about this nonsense now being pulled. It's great, isn't it, that they fancy you. You're in a nightclub or something, you're chatting to her. She says, look, shut up. Shut up. I'm going to sleep with your brother. Calm down. Takes you home and uses you. And you wake up in the morning a bit dishevelled. The cat's looking at you. The judgmental cat on the pine dresser. But the worst thing has happened in all the commotion. You've forgotten her name. Now, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I think if you chomped on someone's fanny, you should remember their name, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a rule of mine. So, go downstairs, go through the post. Thinking. I'm a thinker. Crafty cockney. Oh, just have a look here. Oh, I can't call her the occupier. That'd be a bit much. But I'm not so old-fashioned. I don't think if you've slept with someone very quickly, there still might be something there beyond the lust. So you tend to go out for a date, don't you, on the Wednesday night after work. You don't want to mess your weekend up. You go express. Pizza Express, not a hut. Too soon for the hut. Hut comes later. It's got to be express early days. Marbling table, flour. It's all going on. Now she's thinking, this geezer's all right as it happens. He's a bit of a stunner. He's not bad in the bedroom. Then you start proving you've got half a brain and all. She thinks he's a potential boyfriend. Ooh. Ooh, potential boyfriend. Suddenly you're getting this speech halfway through the 4 seasons. Listen, can I assure you, it's not my usual practice to sleep with men as quickly as I happen to have slept with you. And I'm like, relax, homeowner. Relax.
And this is what I'm talking about, the assumption that if you're in a place like that, you obviously are the help. Okay, example 2, that's it, white people. One more example, and then we're moving on, right? I'm on tour in the UK. I'm going up to Leeds. All my team was already up in Leeds setting up the theatre. I'm travelling with my tour manager and best friend, Lila, also a black woman. So I go, you know what? That's Lila. I go, you know what, Lila? Let's not drive. It's a long drive. Let's get a train and go up in comfort. So we rush down to the train station. I buy us 2 first-class tickets. There's a train leaving, so we jump on the train takes off. And we're walking through the train towards the first-class carriage. We walk into the first-class carriage. This white woman is sitting at a table. She looks up, she sees us, and at the top of her voice, she shouts, this is first class! Now Lila goes, what the fuck did you say? And I hold Lila, no, Lila, no. I just grab her by a collar. No, Lila, no. No, Lila. No, Lila, no. Watch me humiliate this bitch just with my mouth. Come back. So at the top of my voice, I say, thank you, lady. But what was it about us that made you assume that we didn't belong in the first-class carriage? She starts to fumble. Everybody on the train just kind of leans up from behind their seats. And she gets flustered. She's like, and then all she could think of was like, I thought you were lost. And I was like, how'd you get lost on a moving train going in one direction, bitch? Now, this woman was not alone. She was with her husband. Her husband was sitting opposite her at the table, same table. But we did not see her husband's face for this entire confrontation because the entire time he was hidden behind the newspaper, just... His hands never came down. All we saw were his knuckles just gripping that paper. And they were in their 60s. So they'd obviously been married a long time, and he's behind that newspaper going, ah! Nosy, big-mouth cow! 30 years we've been married, and every day of those 30 years I've said, mind your own fucking business! And now we're both gonna get beaten up by these 2 black boys.
But as much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. And some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam-building, log-eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. So they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ, but I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? You seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. So you're starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Till he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. He was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy till he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. And you know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. He'll meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Till he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
Oh, yes. You know what I love about London town is we welcome all the people from all around the world, innit? I bet you he's got people from overseas in the house tonight. Overseas people, show me some love. Loads and loads and loads. What about over there? I saw a few people who was from overseas. Where are you from, guys? Australia, welcome the Australians. There's so many Aussies in London. We even got nicknames for each other. That's crazy. You call us Poms, innit? Yeah, we call you racists. Welcome, you legend, my man. Do you miss it out there, all the beaches and the barbecues and all that? Yeah, probably about time you pissed off home, innit? Jokes, 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 you legend. It's just banter. Do you know what I mean? We'll have a drink in the bar afterwards? Yes. Promise you'll serve me first, though. Welcome to you. Isn't this nice? All the different foreign people. Who else has we got in the house? Yeah, legend over there. You're proud of where you're from. Where you from? Wales. You idiot. They get well wound up when we call them sheep shaggers, innit? Don't know why you don't just stop it, but there you go. Welcome, geese. I've been to Wales. It's a nice place, isn't it? There's even like a time difference, ain't there, which I couldn't believe. Yes, I was in Swansea. They're about 8 years behind. Welcome to Wales, man. Who else has we got in? And it's nice. What's that, you legend? Kenya? Oh, welcome, you legend. I got African relatives of my own. I feel like there's a bond there. I never knew I had African relatives until I got an email out of the blue about 2 weeks ago. Welcome. I love it all, man. All the different cultures, all the different things, different accents. Ain't that fun? Everyone's got different accents. I hear different accents, I think of different things. I hear like Australian accent, I'm thinking sport. You know, I hear Italian accent, I'm thinking food. I hear Indian accent, I think I'm about to be put on hold. Welcome all of yous, man. Welcome all of yous. Because that's the thing about London, we do welcome ya. You know, come along, have a giggle. I'll say there's only one day every year when we don't welcome the foreigners. And we let all the frustrations on the foreigners out of the system. Just one day every year in London. Londoners, you know what I'm talking about, innit? That one day every year, we close down all the roads in the centre of London. Thousands of people chase after these 5 Kenyans. And a load of people in wheelchairs. It's not nice.
A lot of people feel bad about flying. I'm no different. And the thing is, I enjoy it. I enjoy flying. I love all the pomp and the faff at the airport. I quite enjoy the pat-down. I like it. The one bit I don't love is when I get onto the plane and I have to turn right and then walk through business class on my way to my bit. Because I lead a very lucky and privileged life, and this is really the only time in my life when I'm surrounded by people who think they're better than me and who can back it up. So if I'm honest, what I do is I release whatever greenhouse gases I've managed to store out throughout the day. Not very proud of that. But I was offered a gig recently. I was offered a gig to perform for the sustainability department of a big organisation, big company in Berlin. And they rang me up and they said, would Mr. Goldsmith like to fly business class? And I assured them, in no uncertain terms, that Mr. Goldsmith would, yes, make that happen, yes, do it now, immediately, please, yes. And if I'm totally honest, by the time I had been carried onto the plane by the pilot, gently sat down in my seat, tousled my hair. Nothing overtly sexual, definitely a spark. By the time I'd been offered a champagne cocktail for takeoff, don't mind if I do, metal cutlery, because obviously terrorists can't afford business class. I have to say, when I had undergone the treatment, I turned into the monster I despise. I'm so ashamed. By the time you rabble walked past on your way to cattle class... Sorry, that's what we call you. You wouldn't get it. You walked past with your laughable single piece of hand luggage. Really? I genuinely caught myself having this thought. I sort of thought out loud. I thought, maybe I have worked that little bit harder. It was awful. But I got to the show, did the show, and afterwards one of the producers said to me, and I've checked this since in detail, it's absolutely true. One of the producers said, did you know that business class travel, business class flight, generates 3 times the emissions of regular economy class travel? And that's absolutely true. It's 3 times worse for the climate. 3 times worse the emissions, because obviously you're using more space on the plane, the seat's much heavier, all the stuff they bring for you adds extra weight, plus your pockets are full of conflict diamonds, you know. So I thought, I'm going to use that knowledge as one of my little steps in the right direction. I thought, from now on, no more business class for me. I thought I will use it as an opportunity for some climate communication. The next time I get offered business class, I will decline on climate ethics grounds, because I tell you what, flying may feel fantastic. Business class may feel sensational, but nothing feels as good, gives you so much internal prestige as walking through business class, knowing that you were offered it, but declined on climate ethics grounds.
Oi, this is nice, isn't it? Yes! Is anyone here in their 40s? Is it? You're not in your 40s? Have you guys started walking like this yet? It happens like clockwork, you know? It's mad. Like, I'll be walking around the co-op like I'm in an art gallery, just... Reduced by how much? Not enough. That, and I've got a boner for linen. Ooh. In it. And literally go out shopping for fabric and I'm like, give me a fabric that will crease really easily. Yes. I want to iron it for at least an hour. That's for me. That and candles. Woo! Now listen, I used to party hard. And I found that burning your money via candles is a great replacement. When I say I like candles, yeah, I'm going diptyque, baby. Thank you. I'm going Joe Malone. Fig for me. Which also, like, I'm from a council estate. What does fig really smell like? Does anyone... I'm just going on what Joe Malone told me, you know what I mean? These candles are expensive. I reckon for a £5 I could probably buy 50 figs, chuck it in the oven and just waft it around the house a few times. The dream is, yeah, I want enough money that I can light a Joe Malone candle when it's just me in the house. Come with me, people. Can you imagine coming home to your yard, it's just you in, and you're like, you know what? Fig for me. As it is, if you was over my house and I had a candle on the go, no lie, after about 20 minutes, I'll start thinking that's about £17 worth of scent now. What kind of friend is he anyway? Is that enough? I realise there's nothing more insulting than someone lighting your scented candles when you're not there to enjoy the scent. Innit? I had my brother house sitting for me, right? I was away for a couple of weeks. I walked back into the house. As soon as I opened up the door, I was like... I walked into the front room. This guy is reclining on my sofa, lighting his spliff with my Joe Malone candle. The ash was falling into the wax. I was like, you all right? Yeah, you good? Now, we know as British people, when our voices go high like that, we mean the opposite, right? The higher our voices go, the less we're about it. You know what I mean? If someone's like, you coming to a party? You're like, yeah! What that means is, I'm not coming to your party, mate. So I said, you all right? What are you doing? He's like, oh, it's just a bit of mood lighting, innit? It's like, IKEA tea light is mood lighting. That's not even it. It was a 3-wick candle. Only 1 wick was lit. Thank you.
I grew up in Dudley, in the West Midlands. Yeah, a lot of people grow up there because that's the only thing there is to do. What are you doing? Growing. In the 50s, my parents emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Yeah, Nancy, I'm going to say that again just for you. They emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Why? What was my dad thinking? Bloody blue sky all the time. I want hail and sleet and snow. All this joyous reggae music. Where can a man get some Des O'Connor? We need pack your bags, we're going to Dudley. They made me go to church every Sunday. The Pentecostal Church of God in Prophecy. See, that's a black name. White churches are always called things like St. Thomas's. We're all outside going, St. Thomas's what? St. Thomas's Epiphany of the Shining Light of God in Christ in West Bromwich? Now, that's a name. You arrived late for church. Sorry I'm late, I was reading the signs. It's as good as Stephen King. I went to Blue Coat Secondary Modern School in Dudley. A lot of bullying there. I mean, you know, back in the day it was different as well. You get punched in the face, you keep it to yourself. Nowadays you go straight to the head teacher. Peter Wilkins has been punching me every day since the start of term. I'm not going to teach him anymore. I got a daughter, 17. She's got a pet name for me. Taxi. Yeah, because the only time I see her is in the car, and even then she gets in the back. I'm like, how was school? She's like, you're not one of those cabbies who's going to talk all the time, are you? Her childhood's different from mine. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, it felt like everybody in Dudley had permission to beat me. It wasn't just my mum. You know, I'd be mucking about in the street, suddenly, bam! Mrs. Fearon from number 14 slapped me around the face. Then she'd drag me to my house and tell my mum, Mrs. Henry, I saw Len misbehaving in the street, so I beat him for you. Do you know what my mother said to this woman? Thank you very much. I have 6 other children. Help yourself anytime. We made a documentary in Dudley about my mom last year. My brother Paul said this on camera, no word of a lie. Lynn, when mom used to beat you, we used to think it was really funny. Bastards! Where's the solidarity in that? I'm getting my arse tore up, they're eating popcorn, they've pulled up chairs. Oh, it's not as funny as last week. Mom, work the ribs now, work the ribs. Mom, Harley Shuffle, remember? Harley, Boombaye. Mom, like Popeye, remember? Fabida, 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 fabida. When Mom used to beat me, she always said the same thing. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. Black parents are insane. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. All the white people, what kind of parenting is that? Lamar's like, yeah, me too. Oh, man. You know what I'd like to see on television? Jamaican Super Nanny. Beat him if it's been bad, beat him if it's been good. Beat him to show how much you love him. Beat him till your arms hurt so much. You have to beat him for making your arms hurt so much. She wouldn't mess about, would she? All right, no. This is what I call the naughty cheer. What's that for? You pick it up and you beat him with it. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own rotten good.
I'm married to a comedian. Did you know? John Richardson. Oh, yeah. You know he is. Do you know, because I'm going on tour, my management company, they took a Facebook advert out and someone said, don't read the comments. So I did. There was just one that bothered me, and this guy had put, without trying to be too crude, how many has she had to get the career she's got? I mean, the answer's 1, but... It's weird to applause that, isn't it? It's only weird for my granddad who's watching. That's not... It's weird. You've made that weird for an 87-year-old. Anyway, but the thing, because I don't know whether you've noticed, but I've started to do a bit of telly now, and I'm in this weird stage where I'm getting recognised, but I'm not used to it yet. And I walked in a pub last night, and there was a woman staring at me, and I thought, what are you fucking looking at? And then I realised, oh, it's me. I did, you know Michael McIntyre's The Wheel? Have you seen it? The game show? I lost someone £98,000. No. If you've seen the show, you know they go back down in the ground. When he went down, he turned to me and said, I've had a lovely day, thank you. That would have slapped me. We're both vegan now. I'm a vegan that likes steak for the iron, and John's a vegan when he's interviewed on TV. It's a weird life for him, though, you know. I've seen it through his eyes. The situations we're getting... Because he's been on TV 10 years. We went and did this gig, you know, in a school. And then we parked up, and he turned to me and he said, I've got to go. And I was like, oh, all right then, just wait till you get in. He was like, I've got to go now. And he didn't let me get out. He got on the back seat, and luckily we had a bucket because we've been to Seaside. We've got blacked out windows. And I got out, and there was 2 of his fans waiting for him. And they said, we've come all the way from Rotherham to see John. They said, where is he? I said, he's shitting in a bucket in the back of the car. And they said at the same time, we'll wait. But we're both vegan. And then when we go... when we go out for a nice meal, I'll order the steak for the iron. And he'll order butternut squash. And then he'll be looking at my steak and he's not listening to what I'm saying. And so what I do right at the end, I go, oh, I can't eat that last bit. Oh, what a waste, like that. And then we just swap the plates round and it's all in silence. And he eats this bit of steak and the look on his face after he's eaten it is like, you know those Facebook adverts that go viral of the deaf baby when it gets a hearing aid? And here's its mother talk. That's what it's like.
It's hard to be a woman, you know, like a lot of women right now, we're posting naked or almost naked pictures online to show how confident we are. And in all the comments, other women will be like, you are so brave. Well, I really just think that means not a model. Also, it's not brave. There's no soldier looking down at that picture being like, oh, what a brave lady. You know, a man posts a naked picture, he just loses custody of his kids. And if showing your weird body's brave, then the guy that masturbated in front of me on the subway is very brave. Because he had a real weird body. And he was making weird faces. He might be the bravest man I know. But that's the thing, we're supposed to care so much about our bodies as women, you know? And there's even campaigns that we should love our bodies and be confident in our bodies. Or we could just stop caring about it. Because you know who doesn't care about their bodies? Men. You know what men are? Successful. Men are presidents, men are CEOs. You've never heard a CEO go, I want to get profits up and keep costs down and love me for me. 3 p.m. we're going to have a meeting about how I can accept the fact that I have my mother's thighs. You know who should care about their bodies? Men. You have weird bodies, men. You're gross. Your balls are gross. I've never seen a guy be like, oh, I can't wait to get his pants off and see that weird bag of stuff between his legs. What is it? It's like when you go to a haunted house and you stick your hand in a jar, you're like, please be grapes. Balls seem like a real god whoopsie. It's like when you're putting together furniture and you got a couple leftover screws and you're like, well, those were supposed to go somewhere. I guess I'll hang them from a satchel. Even the name sounds like a mistake. What are you gonna call them? Scrotum. Okay. This is how you knew God didn't care about balls at all. Everything else important, he covered in bone. Balls, he was like, let them fly. You are so lucky we get our faces near them. If a woman puts your balls in her mouth, you should pay her a lot of money. And not in like a prostitute way, and like a, I don't know how else to say thank you. This is a very nice thing you just did to me. And you didn't get any pleasure out of it. There's not a single woman that's like, that's what does it for me. You were more of a saint than Mother Teresa for that. There's no way she ever did it. Career is over. I had to put paint on my face just to leave my home. And you guys get to walk around those wrinkly, dangly bags of crap. You should have to put makeup on them. At the very least, googly eyes. I don't know if it'd be better or worse, it'd be fun. He's happy, he's sad. He lost his boner. You guys get away with calling our boobs saggy. Your balls are saggy. You should wear a bra. And you make it fancy. All those women clapping, they meant yours.
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog earlier and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently, at the moment, she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress, and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. Grow into it.
Are any Welsh people out there? Tell them! Tell them how good it is now! Oh, it's not shit anymore! We spent millions, so it's not shit for you. That's the whole... Welsh people, where are you from? Fair enough, it's shit. Yeah, quite. Yeah. I'm trying to explain that the place has improved and you lob Swansea in just to... Lucky Swansea's still a desperate dump, isn't it? Let's face it. Devoid of any hope whatsoever, Swansea. Have you been? There's a sign on the way in that says, kill our children, not your speed, isn't there? Yes. I'm talking about places like Cardiff and the places that have... Yes! These places have improved. We've had development money. We've done Cardiff Bay. Have you been there? Go there on holiday. It's lovely. We've done it all up. You've got cafes and bars. You've got the sea down there now. It's amazing. True, down where the shit was, that's all sea now, most of it. And it's going to be amazing when they finish it. Has anybody seen the posters of what Cardiff Bay is going to be like when it's all done? It's not. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be people chatting. Laughing, texting, Welsh people these are, presumably. Having interesting conversations over dinner. We're all going to be a lot better looking by the time it's finished as well. You look out. Where they're going to get these people with fashionable glasses and teeth from in Cardiff, I got no idea. You've got to admire their optimism, haven't you? Fair play. talking of optimism, you got Cardiff Bay. I was there not long ago. Some of these restaurants, some of them have got tables outside. Al fresco dining in Cardiff. They're having a laugh on me. I tried to have a Twix at a bus stop in Wales a few years ago. It was too wet to eat, to be honest with you. Everybody's pretending it's Madrid. Come on, we'll sit outside. Your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it, for Christ's sake. Stop raining! You never get past your starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater. You give up. So your gin and tonic's overflowing, the little umbrella's blown inside out. Turn it back into the wind! Turn it back into the wind! There's waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the table. Spaghetti carbonara! Spaghetti carbonara! Sure, I'll get another one! I'll get another one! There's people throwing lifebuoys to their bread rolls. I'll pull you in! I'll pull you in! Peas being airlifted to safety. Oh, Wales is improving. Even the valleys. Go to the valleys on holiday. Even the valleys, they are. Shut your face. They're getting better. They're getting better, the Welsh. I did a gig in Pontypridd. Yeah, in the Welsh valleys. Were you there at the gig I did when there was a piece of sun-dried tomato on the stage? Not bullshit. In a real piece of sun-dried tomato. We couldn't even do the gig. Everybody was just staring at it. I couldn't get them back. I couldn't get their attention. That's not local to your area, is it? The sun-dried tomato. Hey, there was a pile-up in the valleys a few years ago because somebody mentioned satsumas. Did you read about that? Somebody's trod in that, haven't they? That's what's happened. Do you live here now, madam? Do you live here? And are you from the valleys?
My boyfriend is from the valleys.
Your boyfriend? It was probably him that trod in the sun-dried tomato and dragged it all the way back. That's what he probably stepped in the sun-dried tomato in London and took it all the way back to the... He must have been shitting himself on the way back. They'll kill you for that in Pontypridd, won't they? Get it off me! They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! Ditch the shoe! Ditch the shoe!
I can't wait to get old. I'm looking forward to getting old. Old people can do what they like. You see any old person, they do what they like. I was on the bus the other day, this incredibly old woman got on, she went straight up to this guy who was sitting down and said, "How old are you?" This guy was like, 37. She said, "I'm 84, get up." I was like, oh my God, she just invented human top trumps. This guy missed a trick, he should have demanded another round, be like, "All right, old lady, what's your top speed?" No chance. I think the worst thing about having a baby, without a doubt, the worst thing about the whole pregnancy, I'd say even more painful than labour, was telling my parents that I was pregnant. Because my parents never talked to me about sex. They just never did that. I mean, to be fair on them, I think they operated on a need-to-know basis, and given I had a head brace till I was 17, they thought, do you know what? She doesn't need to know. But the only time that my mum ever talked to me about sex, she once sort of in passing said, "Oh, by the way, when you make love to a man, put a towel down first." That's it. Both practical and disturbing. Put a towel down first. That's what she'd say. Put a towel down first. I thought, it's given me a pathological fear of sun loungers ever since. And my parents' towel collection. But I swear, I knew nothing about sex as a teenager. I think the closest I came to having sex at that time was when I was doing lengths in a local pool and a man accidentally butterflied over me. I mean, I lost my virginity so late in the end that when it finally happened, I wasn't so much deflowered as deadheaded. But I wish I was sexually confident, like in my 20s. Love to be like that. Love to be a player. You know what I'm talking about? We all know people like this, people who are going to go like, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to get laid. I would love to be like that. I'd love to be the sort of person who could just walk into any nightclub with my towel. Like Gold Duke of Edinburgh award-winning piece of ass right here. Strippers. It's another person. Weirdly, I kind of admire strippers. I would love to be like a stripper. I would love to just be able to stand on stage and own it. Like, know I was sexy. That would be awesome, you know? I would be the world's worst lap dancer. I could not sit on a man's knee and not want to make giddy-up noises. they're designed to be alluring. I challenge anyone in this room, even if you agree with them or not, to walk past a strip joint and a bit of you is not like, oh my God, what's happening? Because they've got like the blacked out windows and the bouncers on the door. There's always a bit of you that's like, oh my God, what are they doing in there? And it's exactly the same feeling as when I was a kid and I used to walk past the school staff room. You walk past, you'd be like, oh man, what is happening in there? I mean, it turns out both are full of adults whose lives didn't work out as planned. The thing I find the weirdest about strip joints, if you've ever been to one, everywhere you go, all these big signs, do not touch the women! Please do not touch the ladies! As strippers always say, the fact that the men can't touch us, that's what makes our job really empowering. And I always think, well, that's not really empowering, is it? Because that's the same rule in every other workplace in the country. You don't walk in a shop and it says, welcome to Tesco's, don't finger the staff.
But I think women should just let it out. It's a big day in a girl's life when she can freely let rip in front of her bloke. It is. I think women should be having I farted in front of my boyfriend for the first time parties. I do. I think they should be ringing up their mums, just going, Mum, I've got something to tell you. Oh, darling, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I just did a fart in front of Tom. Oh, darling, that's wonderful news, wonderful news. And what did he say? He didn't say anything. He just laughed and farted back. My little girl's all grown up. Meanwhile, Dad will be in the background just going, women are farting far too early in front of their boyfriends these days. It was 18 months before your mother even trumped in my direction. 6 months before she'd take a dump in the house when I was around. Yes. And also, I'll tell you something else we pretend as well. We keep the lady garden quite tidy, us girls, don't we, in the early stages. We all do little tricks with it. Look, it's the strip, it's the Brazilian. Oh, look, I put a hat on it, it's the Mexican. Like we do. We do all that in the early stages, and then after about a year, it looks like the back of the wardrobe that leads to Narnia. Well, if he wants it, he's going to have to work for it. People saying to me, Andy, you could try meeting people in a nightclub. You'll never meet anyone good in a nightclub because the nightclub environment is designed to have us make bad decisions. It is because it's dark, you can't see, you can't hear. You know what, if nightclubs want to be responsible, what they should do to help us out is just before the exit, they should have a brightly lit room where you can check out the person you're leaving with. Yes, they should. They should call it, have a sodding word with yourself lounge. And you would literally get women in there just going, oh my God, you're wearing a fleece. I couldn't tell because it's so dark in there. Okay, nice to meet you. But listen, if you meet somebody online, what I'm going to say is there's some safety things to take into consideration. Now, I met somebody through Twitter, just the once. I'll never do it again. And it was the most irresponsible thing I think I've ever done. And I spoke to a friend about it before we met up, and I said, listen, I've met this guy, and we seem to really like each other, and we're talking about meeting up. What do you reckon? Should I meet him? And before my mate even had a chance to say anything, I said, you know what? I am going to meet this guy. You know why? Because life's too short. And my mate just went, yeah, you're going to find out how short. And my mum says, she says, look, if you go on these dates, make sure you meet in a public place, okay? And I'm just going to add something to that. Public place, brill. Public house, excellent. Public toilet. Never meet in a public toilet. No good can come of it. Unless it's, you know them space-age toilets that they have outside, where you put the money in, press the button, and then the door opens. You know why? Because you can pretend it's blind date. How cool is that? You just put the money and press the button. And if you don't like it, just press the button really quickly. I don't know why, like young couples, new couples, have got this obsession with finding out how many people someone's been out with from before. Like, how many previous partners? This is a lose-lose situation, right? And if any of you have ever had that conversation or you think it's ever going to come up, this is what I say. This is what you should say, okay? Just say to the person that's asked you, you want to know how many previous partners? Okay, I'll tell you from the beginning, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, you, 6, 7...
I hated teaching. And it's a brilliant, wonderful, noble profession, obviously, teaching. I hated it because I didn't want to do it. The only thing that got me through those years were children, because, as some of you parents will know, children are wonderful and weird. I used to teach a class in North London. You'll think I'm exaggerating this. I'm not. This is just one class I'm talking about. They were the strangest group of human beings I have ever seen assembled in one place, right? They were the strangest group of human beings ever in one. I include all of the series of Big Brother in that. Right, I'll talk you through some of them. There was a child called Marwood in that class, which isn't a real name, let's be honest. He was absolutely on a different planet to the rest of us. I'll prove it. I once said to him, Marwood, what are you going to do when you leave school? Straight away, he said, well, I'm going to be one of two things, sir. I'm going to be a gynecologist or a train driver. I said, they're rather contrasting professions, Marwood. This is only funny if you believe me, he wasn't trying to be funny at this point. He went, yeah, they are, aren't they, sir? I suppose at the end of the day, I just like tunnels. Fortunately, there was a child in that class that made up for all of them. Her name was Karen Powell. She was my favourite student of all time. She was 11 years of age, this big, and had two fascinating characteristics. Number one, her internal compass was buggered, right? So she was 10 minutes late to every single lesson, and the school wasn't that big. 10 minutes late. The second was, even though she was 11, she spoke, for reasons best known to our creator, like a repressed 1940s housewife. And you think I'm exaggerating this? I am not exaggerating it. She would come into my class like this. Hello, sir, how are you today? I said, I'm fine, thanks, Karen. How are you? She goes, yes, I'm very well, thanks. I say, I'm very much looking forward to today's improvisation. I'll give you an example of her compass. She came to see me after a lesson. This is all verbatim quote. She went, excuse me, sir, can I have a word with you, please? And of course you can, Karen. What's the problem? She goes, I just wanted to say that I thought my performance in your lesson today was a little below par. I said, really? I thought you were great. No, I thought my use of characterization was paper thin. Thought the way I moved around the space was appalling. And my group work was something to be condemned, and I would like to offer you my most humble of apologies. I said, you listen to me, Karen Powell. You never need to apologise to me. You are my favourite pupil because you make me laugh my head off. Now go outside and enjoy your lunchtime. You've deserved it. She said, you know what? I think I will. I turned round at that point to do a little bit of admin, ladies and gentlemen. Karen was then faced with a choice. She could leave my room via the only exit, or she could go into my costume cupboard. I don't know what happened, but for safety, I'll tell you this. I locked my costume cupboard before I went for my lunch, then I went away for a whole hour. When I came back, I opened the cupboard, and I swear to you, that child was standing with her back to me in a scene from the Diddy Man remake of the Blair Witch Project, just doing this. And I went, Karen? She went, hello, sir. I said, have you been in there for a whole hour? She said, I'm rather afraid I have. I said, oh my God, I am so sorry. She said, don't you apologise to me. I've only got myself to blame. I'll see you later.
I'm going to make a concerted effort to be positive and happy, because that's what people like, apparently. And I get accused. I constantly get told I'm grumpy and miserable, and I'm not. I'm happy, I'm upbeat, I love being alive, love being a human. Being a human's unbelievable, isn't it? If you're a human, you really have nothing to moan about. I realised this year that being a human is the best on the planet. I was on a plane eating a chicken sandwich. That's not it. It's pretty good, though. I thought, I am eating a bird whilst I am flying. Unbelievable! I, a flightless land mammal, am consuming a bird in mid-air. Never mind the fact I just ordered a gin and tonic in a cloud. And it's because I think being a human is so easy that that's why I get annoyed with people, because people don't seem to try as hard as I would like them to about life. And I am a perfectionist. Give us a cheer if you're a perfectionist. Fair few of you. The rest of you are annoying. be straight now, because you go around and you make mistakes and you drop things and you laugh about it because you think it's part of life's rich tapestry. It isn't. You should be trying harder. I like a massive perfectionist to the point that every mistake in my life counts the same. So, in my world, dropping a spoon is the same as running someone over. In that you didn't mean to do it and you did it, so you have to get angry about it and make sure it never happens again. And I watch people make mistakes. I came into London last year to do some gigs, and I was on the London Underground. I was on the Hammersmith and City line, which, if you don't know London, is the line that goes from Hammersmith into the city. Cockneys really don't piss around when they're naming their things. Oh, bit of tube line, Gary. It goes from Hammersmith to the city. Oh, yeah? What you going to call it? Don't muck about, Gary. Don't muck about. So anyway, I was on the Underground, sat down, and I knew I needed 6 stops to get to where I was going. And opposite me on the tube are 2 young girls. They're all dressed up. They're going out for the evening. They're laughing. They're giggling. They're joking. They're generally pissing me off. You see, I'm not a big fan of public shows of joy. You see, my motto is: there's misery in this world. You just have to look for it. If something's broken, you can fix it, and if it's untidy, you can tidy it. And if someone's unhappy, you can make them laugh, and you've made their day a bit better. Happy people are finished. You can't help them. If you're happy, don't go out. Just stay at home and enjoy walls and ceilings. And my real issue with the happy is it's happy people who make mistakes, because they're so busy enjoying life, they've forgotten to do it properly. So I was on the Underground, and these girls are laughing away, and they're a perfect example, because they're enjoying being together so much, they haven't noticed they've got on completely the wrong train. Right? So we're hurtling off in this direction, and they should actually be going in this direction. Right? And about 5 minutes in, one of the girls cottoned on, and she tapped her mate on the leg, and she went... I would have been furious. Let's say it now. That's not funny, is it? What's happened there is you've just lost a big chunk of your life. The time you were going to spend doing the thing you've left the house to do, you will now spend correcting your ineptitude. I know some people say, once you've got on the wrong train, John, there's nothing you can do but laugh about it. But the only reason you would ever laugh in this situation is if you do this so often, you've just had to learn to find it amusing. Done it again. What are we like? I'll tell you. Shit at being alive, it would appear.
I just celebrated 9 years of marriage just the other day. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 9 years married to the same person. Jesus Christ, man. Listen, man, I'm just glad I'm no longer dating. I'm glad. Because dating right now is the ghetto. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy to date. And you know what? The thing about dating is, every time I see someone out, I'm like, how are you affording this? You know what I'm saying? It's a cost of living crisis. When I see people out eating food, I'm just like, I don't know how you're doing this. Even I'm on TV, and I still take my wife to the local chip shop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're not getting this Taskmaster money. No. Nah, man. The dating. Back in the day, I used to get rejected a lot because I'm short. You know what I'm saying? Short guys, yeah, we don't get no love, man. Short guys. I'll be on the phone talking to girls, and I'll be like, you know, yeah, babes, I want to take you out. She'll be like, oh, my God, how tall are you? I'll be like, yeah, I'm 5 foot. Hello? Hello? I am happy. I am married, and I've got 2 wonderful children. Me and my wife got 2 beautiful children, 8 and 1, right? Now, the 8-year-old, that's a boy, right? And my boy is crazy. Make some noise if you got sons in the building, make some noise. So you know what I'm talking about. Boys are crazy, right? It's not just me. Have you ever just looked at your boy and been like, what the hell are you doing? Every day, right? My son is obsessed with superheroes. He loves superheroes, right? Which is a bit weird in our household because we're like devout Christians, like especially my wife. We love going to church, right? My wife is definitely getting into heaven, 100%. Like, hopefully, I'm her +1. I hope, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, no, I'm with her. No? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I bring that up is because last year, Halloween, my son, he wanted to go trick-or-treating, right? Which is a bit weird in our household. Again, we're Christians. And he was just like, Mom, I want to dress up as a superhero. And my wife was just like, there is no superhero in this house other than Jesus Christ. So she dressed him for Halloween as Jesus Christ. This guy went out trick-or-treating, giving out bread and wine. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, God bless you. Yeah, God bless you too. Oh, God bless you. One day, me and my son, we were at home. We're by ourselves, right? I'm downstairs, I'm watching TV. My son is upstairs, right? He's doing whatever he's doing, right? And it got silent. And you guys know what happens when it goes silent with a child. It means they're doing something they should not be doing, right? And then out of nowhere, I hear a loud thud, just boom. I'm like, God, what's that? And then my son's just like, Daddy! So I run to the hallway, and my son is standing at the top of the staircase, dressed in a DIY superhero outfit, right? And he's just standing there, he's like, look, Dad, I'm a superhero. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, son, you might want to take that off before your mom comes home, all right? And he's just like, no, Dad, look, I can fly. And as soon as he said that, I'm not gonna lie, it got slow motion in my house. I was like, no. And my son was like, a part of me was just like, let me let him fly so he can break his legs, you know what I'm saying, and calm down.
So I came to Britain in the early 80s. We were refugees long before it became fashionable. But my favourite immigrants are Polish people because they've properly confused old-fashioned racists. Have you seen them? They don't know what to do. What do we do? What do we say? They're immigrants, but they're white. I heard this one bloke go, bloody Poles coming over here with their work ethic. Which isn't very politically correct, and I try so hard to be politically correct. Sometimes I take it too far. I was at a party recently, and I said to my friend, have you met Steve? He's a really nice guy. My friend goes, which one's Steve? Steve was the only black guy in the room. I found myself going, Steve, yeah, he's over there. He's got blue jeans on, a grey T-shirt, sort of curly hair, and a Nigerian accent. And once I was performing at a comedy club and there was two black guys in the front row, like you two, but men and black. You are a man, sir, I'm sorry. It's the lights. And I said to them, so how do you two know each other? And they looked at each other and went, we don't. Might as well have had NF tattooed on my forehead. I didn't, it was felt tip. I like friendly, a little bit of friendly racism is nice. When I was a little girl, I used to always go to my friend Katie's house, and every time her dad opened the door, he'd go, hello, Shappy, been on holiday? So, I have a little boy, I have a baby boy, I'm a mum, and I'm looking at you, some of you are so young, I could be your mummy if I lived somewhere rural. Like a lot of women, I got to my 30s and I thought, I've got to have a baby now. Well, my mum's still young enough to look after it for me. And I went to all the antenatal classes, and this woman came up to me, one of the other mums goes, oh, how are you planning on losing your baby weight? And I was like, well, I was just thinking of having the child. And she was like, oh, I'm going to be a yummy mummy. I'm going to lose all my yummy mummy. That's just like a middle-class way of saying MILF. I was so happy when I found out that I was pregnant. And we had a scan and we knew that it was a boy. And people said to me, why did you find out the sex of your baby? Didn't you want a surprise? Well, it's going to be a boy or a girl, do you know what I mean? The only surprise would have been if it was a puppy. And there are no puppies in my family. There's one goat, it's not a blood relation. Thank goodness I have a child now. It was no fun being a broody Iranian woman. Every time I said to people, my body clock's ticking, they'd hit the ground. So with all that going on, when I did find out I was pregnant, I was so delighted. I thought, I am going to fill this child's life up with love and hope and understanding. My husband's reaction was slightly different. He walked around going, woohoo! My soldiers worked! Easy! It's not his. Oh, the fuss he made when he found out I was cheating on him. Only child. Can't share. My husband's English, he's from Nottingham, and a lot of people ask me if my husband's Iranian. And I go, well, he's not, he's English, but he's planning to convert. His family are absolutely lovely, and when they first met me, they kept going, oh, Shappy's so exotic, she's so exotic, which means foreign, but not in a way that we hate.
When I was growing up, we had one telephone in the house, in the hallway. Anybody my age remember that? Yeah. One telephone. I'll be like that. Listen, I can't talk for long. Dad is staring at me. Like, Dad, can I have some privacy? And he'd go, privacy? Buy your own house. At school, the one thing I remember from school, though, teachers, yeah, finger painting. Remember that? I love that, because I come from inner city London, right? And it was only later on in life that I realised that it was our headmaster's ingenious way to get our fingerprints early. Yeah, he'd say, most of you will go on to offend later on in life. I'm merely cutting out the middleman. Also, one of the things I seem to remember from school, folks, right? One of the main things I remember is that I'm not a very sporty child. Not sporty at all. And it dawned on me, right? If you're a white kid at an all-black school and you're not sporty, people assume you're academic. But if you're a black kid at an all-white school, you can't dance or sing, people assume you're adopted. But the one thing I loved at school was the power of the note. Forget the man who invented the television, forget him. Forget the man who invented the internet, the power of the note. The note could get you out of anything. PE? No! I got a note. Jabs? I got a note. If only the note could follow you later on in life. Can you imagine me in the military, in a Chinook helicopter over Afghanistan? Private Amos, jump! I can't, I got a note. Mom says, don't jump, not in these shoes. You get me? And the leader of the free world, Barack Obama, wow, look at that. If Barack Obama was a kid at my primary school and said to my careers advisor, I want to be the president, the careers advisor would have gone, well, Obama, obviously a temporary careers advisor, I can definitely see you on the campaign bus, driving it. Also, folks, I want to be a bit honest as well with you tonight. I'm very much into same-sex relationships, because I think it's very important that you're both into the same kind of sex. Otherwise, it can create friction. And people say to me, Steve, are you gay or bisexual? And I go, definitely gay. There's no two ways about it. And that's one positive thing about being gay, because a lot of those skills are transferable. Is that too much? But my mum's take on it is this. If my mum saw me having sex with a man, she'd be like this, oh, the man my son is having sex with, he is the gay one. But my friends, you know, they're quite bad at trying to set me up. I say to them, I'm like a man in uniform. Barry from B&Q wasn't quite what I had in mind. But as I say, I'm having fun at the moment doing this job. And you look at me, yeah, I've actually been asked to host the Live of the Apollo. Yeah. And Lenny Henry isn't dead. No. He's just locked in a room at the Premier Inn.